Hey there everyone, No DM the Boy here coming at you with a how to play Power Rangers Heroes of the Grid video. So, we're finally going to dive into Power Rangers Heroes of the Grid content coming up this September. I'm very excited to drop the episodes and to watch and to see what y'all think about our sessions. So, this is going to be brand new content. I just wanted to get out of the way how to play moving forward. There'll be a couple of misplays as we keep going for the beginning first 16 episodes or so because there's a learning curve. The rules were kind of hard to read, experience, etc. So bear with us as we morph up. So origin story. The video where I was playing with Fenrit and Dr. P and Miss Pink. So that's the origin story of when I first played Power Rangers Heroes of the Grid. I liked it enough to make my own go at it and make content for it beyond just the casual play because yeah, if I'm gonna play this, I want other people to know about it, especially with the Power Rangers IP and legit like Extinction. So, yeah. So this is the base game. We're gonna be talking only about the base game though. We're not gonna be talking about solo mode or um, Psycho Ranger Assault mode either. We're just gonna talk about the base game and how that works, and then we'll go from there. All right. Oh yeah, this is my commission I got from All Force Prodigy for Vanguard Ranger Red. So this game also got me back into Cardfight Vanguard. So that's also amazing that it got me back into a TCG. And the reasons for that is we'll talk about as we talk about the people in the group. Yeah. So our current group, there's 6 of us. There's 5 in the picture, but there's 6 of us. We're Cardfight Sentai Vanguard Rangers. So that's our name, like Cardfight Sentai Vanguard Ranger. Yeah, so it rolls off pretty good, to be honest. I based it off Pirate Sentai Go Kiger, the name. It fits really well. Our group is currently 6. When I made this commission, there was 5. I didn't realize we are going to get a 6 Ranger trope, so that happened. That was pretty cool. So there's 6 of us. Let's see, I think the next slide. Yep, the next slide has our names. So, number 1, starring Nightshade as Dino Thunder White. That's his main person too. These are the costume rangers of what we first played together as a group of 5. So coming up next is Sea Dog as Mighty Morphin Blue, breaking the Dino Thunder theme, but he still fits the Dino theme, so it's still pretty good. Billy's awesome, so it's all good. Next up is No DM the Boy here as Dino Thunder Red. Super speed. I like Dino Thunder Red. He's really cool. Mythic here is Dino Thunder Yellow. He will be Jungle Fury Wolf Ranger moving forward, though, because he loves RJ from Jungle Fury. I don't blame him. RJ is very goated, to be honest. And then we got number 5 here, Agent Stan as Dino Thunder Black, our Tommy Ranger. He likes playing as Dino Thunder Black, Mighty Morphin White. I think just those 2. And then the most recent session, he played Silver Space Ranger. So he's branched out beyond the Tommies. But he's usually our Tommy Ranger, so it's pretty cool. Everyone basically has a main at this point. Nightshade is sticking with Dino Thunder White for the foreseeable future until Mystic Force comes out. He loves Mystic Force, but he likes playing Dino Thunder White for now. Mystic Force is not in the game yet. Sucks, but he wants to play as Mystic Force Rangers, and I'm like, can't do it. Sea Dog is just gonna stick with Billy. He's Blue Ranger guy. He plays as the other Blue Ranger sometimes to spice it up, like Dino Thunder Blue. He has played as SPD Blue. I think just those 3. I think so. I can't recall, but I think it's literally just those 3, especially when we have to play like multiple Rangers when there's less than 5, less than 4. But I am going to be the wild card for our sessions because I want every Ranger to be represented at least once. But I do prefer Red Rangers and Pink Rangers. Those are my preferences. That's what I've been noticing. But I do want to play as everybody, just because I want every Ranger in a session at least once. And then we got, let's see, Mythic already explained this Jungle Fury, Wolf Ranger. He did like playing Kira. Yellow Ranger's dope. I played her a couple times too. She's really good. And then we got Agent Stan. I think he's gonna change it up once in a while too, but he really does prefer Tommy Rangers. And then Uncle Sanguine, he is brand new, so I don't know what he'll do. I'm interested to see what main he'll become. But yeah, that's our group. TCG wise, Nightshade is Cardfight Vanguard. He is diving into One Piece for a bit. He plays White Shorts too. That's all the TCGs I know of. I think he dove into Shadowverse for a minute, but I'm not sure if he still plays it. But those are all the TCGs I know he plays. Sea Dog here. I met him in One Piece. He mostly plays Fusion World with me. White Schwartz. Fusion World, White Schwartz. He still plays One Piece casually. Those are the games I know of. He might play. I think he's gonna play Union Arena, but he says only for the IPs he likes. But no DMAA here. You know who I am. If you don't check out the other videos on my TCGs, you know what I do. Mythic plays Cardfight Vanguard. That's his main. We've been playing Cardfight Vanguard since the start of its inception. He plays White Schwartz every like 3 months or so. He kind of plays Digimon. I think that's about it. Yu-Gi-Oh? Yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh. You know, everyone plays Yu-Gi-Oh. Agent Stan and doesn't really play. Oh wait, yeah, he does. Star Wars. Sea Dog also plays Star Wars. But Agent Stan is diving and is tipping his toes into Star Wars at the moment. He doesn't really play TCGs, but he really wants to play Star Wars. He's been trying to get into it. That's his TCG history. Uncle Sanguine, he used to play Cardfight Vanguard with us. I think he mostly plays Magic now. That's last I heard. We recently reconnected, so it's all good. It's all good. That's our group. That's some backstory, TCG backstory. So, I also say their names in the video. So, like, their real names are Austin, Corey, Aaron, Morales, and Mitchell. Six Rangers, Alex, Uncle Sanguine. But yeah, normally I try to keep it code name wise, but since the videos actually have us saying our names several times, all good. We're one of those Power Ranger teams who don't keep the secret identities. It's all good. It's all good. Like Lightspeed. All right, moving forward. So currently at the time of filming this video, this is gonna drop on September 1st, so it should be September 1st when you're all watching this. Currently, there are 16 episodes filmed, consisting of group sessions as we keep building the group, all the way up to episode 16 with the 6 Ranger session, and a mixture of solo mode sessions of me just playing by myself with 3 Rangers. And then I'm trying to do opening scenes too, where I mix the theme song with morphing sequences. That's just fun. I like doing that stuff. I think that's really cool for the spice up the video intros a bit before we just dive into the gameplay. I don't know. If you're a real Power Rangers fan, you'll love the morphing sequences. I watch morphing sequences all the time. So, but yeah, that's the current content coming. There should be more episodes coming as we keep going here. Like, I have a planned session coming up. I want to play more solo mode, so there should be more content coming. Like, in case y'all wonder how deep I'm into this, it's pretty deep. Yeah. We're also going to do more how to plays like solo mode and how to play Psycho Assault mode and all that. So, and maybe like a crossover G.I. Joe. But yeah, that's all like loose. All right, I got the rulebook from the PDF, so we're gonna dive into the actual rulebook. I'm gonna actually read it out loud and tell you like the discrepancies and what we were doing wrong in the first 16 episodes. And then moving forward, we should be playing mostly correctly. But yeah, it's just hard to read the rulebook. So once we go through this together, it'll be much easier. So Power Rangers Heroes of the Grid, Evil is Coming. In Power Rangers Heroes of the Grid, the players take on the roles of the original Mighty Morphin Power Rangers to battle the forces of darkness. In this core game box, you will face Rita Repulsa and her relentless swarms of Putty Patrollers and Super Putty Patrollers, as well as formidable monsters like Bones, Nasty Knight, Madame Woe, and Pudgy Pig. These teenagers with attitude must use martial arts teamwork and the power of the Zords to defeat the evil that threatens Angel Grove. It's morphing time! So it's ages 14 plus, 2 to 5 players, but that's base game. It's realistically 1 to 6 players. 45 to 60 minutes. That can be true. The longest I've ever played is 3 hours. At least, I mean, that's what Fen read. The longest I've played with my own group is 2 hours. I have never gone beyond like an hour 57 with my own group. Solo mode, I've gone beyond 2 hours. That's because I'm by myself and thinking and taking my time. But it can happen within 45 to 60 minutes. That can happen. If you know what you're doing, it can go fast. Yeah. But yeah, components. The box comes with 5 Ranger figures, so it comes with figures, 24-foot soldiers, 1 boss figure, 5 Ranger cards, character cards, 20-foot soldier enemy cards, 8 boss enemy cards, 50 combat cards, 20-foot soldier deployment cards, 1 boss deployment cards, a power board, 4 monster figures, 5 location boards, 4 outer locations, 1 command center, 6 Zord cards, so 5 Zords and a Megazord, 32 monster enemy cards, 20 energy tokens, 1 Megazord token, 4 monster deployment cards, 12 action tokens, 1 lead ranger token, 30 hit tokens, 4 panic tokens, 6 dice, and then 1 power marker. Alright, note the setup instructions are for 5 player. For adjustments to the setup and gameplay when playing with fewer players, see player count changes page 16. So this is like based on if you have 5 people. Each player chooses a ranger to play and takes the corresponding ranger figure character card and 10 combat cards. Each player also takes 2 action tokens and 1 energy token. So your action tokens, each player shuffles their 10 combat cards to form their combat deck and place it face down in their play area, leaving space for a discard pile. So this is where it becomes like hybrid part TCG. Each player draws as many cards as they wish from their combat deck up to the maximum size of 5. Hand size of 5. So that's 1, 2, 3. Like, I have combat boards to organize, like dual discs basically for. So my setup is like way more like clean. Place the command center board in the middle of this playing surface. Take all ranger figures in play. Place them at the command center along with 3 energy tokens. So that's your life tokens. You're supposed to only have 3 life tokens. Arrange the other 4 location boards in random order around the command center board. When I go to the next slide, I can show it better. And then next to the game board, form a supply with the combat dice, hit tokens, panic tokens, energy tokens, lead ranger token, all the enemy figures. So that's number 6. I don't know what it's supposed to look like. Number 7, set the power board nearby so it's within view of all players. Place the power marker at 0. And then place the Megazord token nearby. Shuffle the 5 regular Zords into the Zord deck. Add a Megazord card to the bottom and then place it face down. So no matter what, the last card's going to be the Megazord. Yeah, so everything should be like in this pile here. Which is what I kind of do, but nicer. The deployment deck, shuffle the 20 soldier deployment cards and divide them into 4 face down piles of 5. Do not add any additional cards to the first pile. And then choose 2 monster deployment cards at random without viewing them. Shuffle 1 each into the 2 other piles. I usually don't do random. I just pick them. You can random. That's more fun. It's scary. But shuffle the boss deployment card to the last pile. Stack the piles in order from top to A, B, C, D. So this is what you're supposed to do. So it's supposed to be like, let's see, 5, 10, 15, 20. And then you put the boss monster cards in the piles 2, B, and C. Then the last one, D, is the boss one. Then you shuffle those in. Locate the enemy decks for 2 types of foot soldier. Shuffle each deck separately. And then place the rest of the enemies aside. You will need them later, so you don't have them out right away. Okay, so this is how you win and lose. It's a cooperative game, so we're all working together like actual Power Rangers to defeat the bad guys and save the city. The Power Rangers win or lose collectively as a team. The game can end in 3 different ways. If all 4 locations are ever panicked at the same time, the Power Rangers loses. So if all 4 of these boards ever become panicked, auto lose. If a Ranger is defeated when there are no more energy tokens, the command center. Oh, I didn't know this part. It's never come up like losing this way. If a Ranger is defeated when there are no more energy tokens at the command center, so life tokens, the Power Rangers lose. If the Power Rangers are able to defeat the boss in battle and survive until the end of the battle, that's how we win. So the only way to win in this game is to beat the final boss. So we got to beat Rita Repulsa / Divatox / Astronema, whoever the final boss is. We got to beat them. Psycho Rangers. That's how we win the game. So the round structure. This is where it gets confusing a bit, but it's kind of easy once you actually play. The game is played in a series of rounds that the Power Rangers win or lose. In each round of the game, there are 2 phases. So there's 1 round, and it's divided in 2 phases. The beginning phase, the deployment phase. In this phase, enemies are deployed to various locations, and then the action phase. In this phase, the Power Rangers collectively perform their actions. So first off, deployment phase. During the deployment phase, there will always be 5 enemy deployments. That's not always true, because there's an easier mode where you can deploy 4 cards instead. To resolve each deployment, reveal the top card of the deck. The revealed card will indicate a number and type of foot soldier. Take those foot soldiers from the supply, then put them on the back of the next card in the deployment deck, which will indicate the location. Place the foot soldier on that location board. After resolving each deployment, place the revealed foot soldier deployment in the face-up discard pile next to the deployment deck. If a location ever contains a number of enemy figures equal to its figure limit, it becomes panicked. Place the panic token on the location. The top card of the deployment shows 2 putty patrols on the front side. So 2. So if you reveal the top card, 2 putties in the industrial district, and you just put them over there. Yep. Therefore, they go to the industrial district. Yeah. Following along so far? And then deploying monsters and bosses. After you reveal the top card of the deployment deck, the next card in the deployment deck is a monster or boss deployment card. Reveal that card too, and take the revealed monster or boss figure from the display. Supply. Place that monster or boss figure along with the foot soldiers from the first card revealed on the location board indicated by the back of the next card in the deployment deck. This still only occurs as a single deployment. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. Locate the corresponding monster or boss enemy deck, shuffle and place it face down near the enemy decks. Near the other ones, finally remove the reveal monster deployment card from the game, returning it to the game box. Yeah, so it doesn't go bottom deck to the deck. Whenever a monster or boss figure is deployed to the location, it becomes panicked instantly. Place a panic token on that location board to indicate this. It would deploy a monster or boss figure to a location that is already panicked. The new monster or boss figure is instead placed in the outer location in a clockwise position that is not panicked. The top card shows 3 putty patrols on its front side. The next card is a monster deployment card for Nasty Knight. The back of the next card in the deck shows Angel Grove High. Therefore, 3 putty patrollers and Nasty Knight are placed at Angel Grove High and then becomes panicked. Yeah, so they deploy together. Each outer location can only contain a number of figures up to its figure limit. If an outer location contains a number of enemy figures equal to its limit, that location becomes panicked. And any additional enemy figures that would be deployed to that location are instead placed in the next outer location in a clockwise direction. When multiple types of enemy figures need to be deployed as a part of a single deployment, they will always deploy in this priority order. Foot soldiers, monsters, boss. So the foot soldiers go first, then the monsters, then the boss. So that's the priority order. There are 2 putty patrollers that must be deployed to Ernie's juice bar, but 4 enemy figures at that location are ready. Therefore, 1 is going to go to the juice bar. This location has now reached its limit and becomes panicked. The remaining putty patrollers placed at Angel Grove High, which is the next outer location in a clockwise position that is not panicked. When the deploy phase is complete, take all foot soldier deployment cards from the discard pile and shuffle them together, then place the shuffle cards on the bottom of the deployment deck face down. Okay, yeah, so that's what I was doing. Yeah, you put them separately, then you shuffle them up, and then you put them face down. That's like Fusion World, where you randomize the bottom. Action phase. After the deployment phase, we got the action phase. So during the action phase, the Power Rangers will spend their actions to defend Angel Grove. To spend an action, a Ranger must flip one of their action tokens face down from one of the available actions. Move, battle, or recover. There is no defined turn order. The Rangers may spend their actions in any order they want. Each Ranger has their own available actions, but the team collectively decides when each Ranger spends each of their actions. Yeah, so like, there's no set order, but we all have to like work together and agree to what we want to do. Like, it's very cooperative, which is nice. It's like observe the viewing globe, and then we go from there. When you perform the move, you may move your Ranger figure from its current location to another location. When you move to the command center, you may power up. If you go back, to power up, shuffle all your cards from your hand and discard pile back to your deck and draw a new hand up to 5. In addition, take 1 energy token for supply. Powering up is a free action, does not count against your available actions. Yeah, so when you use the move action to move to the command center, you just power up for free after that. You don't have to use another action for that. Trini wants to go help our fellow Rangers in the battle against Bones and a pair of putty patrollers over in Angel Grove High. She flips one of her actions to move her Ranger figure from Ernie's Juice Bar to Angel Grove High. Yeah, that's just an example of what you can do. When you perform the battle action, you initiate battle between the Rangers and enemies in your current location. Take the lead Ranger token to indicate you initiated the battle. See Resolving Battles for a full description of how battle works. Yep, but then he initiates battles. Zach is the lead Ranger. He gets the token. And that's how you perform battles. Recover. When you perform the recover action, you may choose cards from your discard pile with a total of up to 6 shields. Then shuffle those cards back to your deck. In addition, take 1 energy token to supply if you do not have one already. Kimberly is running low on cards, so she flips one of her action tokens to recover. Oh, whoops. My bad. running low on cards. She flips one of her actions to recover. She looks through her discard pile and takes Arrow Shot 2 shields, 1 Blade Blaster, 1 shield, and Power Bow. That's 6. She shuffles those cards back into her deck. When the action phase is complete, the round is over. All Rangers flip their action tokens face up again, and any exhausted Zord cards are readied. Then the game proceeds with the next round of play, resolving battles. So this is what happens when you initiate a battle. When initiating a battle, the Rangers and enemies present in that location will participate in that battle. There are 4 steps to resolving battle. Take 2 energy tokens from the supply and place them on the indicated portion of the battle board on the power board. This is known as the shared energy pool. Any Ranger who has fewer than 5 cards in hand may draw as many cards as they wish from their deck, up to a maximum hand size of 5 cards. Those cards may be drawn one at a time, and you may decide after each draw whether to keep drawing or to stop. Zach, Billy, and Kimberly are preparing for battle. Zach only has 1 card in hand, so he decides to draw 3 cards from his deck. Billy has 4 cards in hand, but his deck is getting dangerously low, so he chooses not to draw a card. Kimberly cannot draw any more cards because she has already have 5 cards in hand, so that's max. Enemy preparation. Count the number of foot soldiers in the current location. For each foot soldier, draw 1 enemy card from the matching combat deck. As you draw these cards, place them in a face-up row from left to right. This is the combat sequence. When an enemy with a fast is drawn, place at the left hand row instead of the right. Oh yeah, so this part is where it works. You flip, flip, flip. There are 3 Super Putty Patrollers participating in this battle. Therefore, the combat sequence has 3 cards in it, drawn from the Super Putty deck. Yep, but then fast gets moved up, since there was a fast drawn. And then this is the part where I have to apologize. So apologies for the boss card misplay in the first 15 episodes. So where I misunderstood, I will explain when we actually get to that rule card book. So it's my bad for the first 15 episodes. We were doing boss cards wrong the most. There were probably other wrong plays, but this is the big one I've noticed was big inconsistency. Important. There can never be more than 4 foot soldiers participating in the battle. If there are more than 4 foot soldier figures in the current location, the lead ranger chooses which 4 foot soldiers they wish to battle, drawing 1 enemy card for each. If there is a monster or boss figure in the current location, draw 4 cards from their unique deck. So this is where I messed up. This is where it's, so it says boss, monster, or boss. So I was drawing 6 cards for boss monsters when it should have been just 4. You have to beat 6 cards, but it says 4. So you have to initiate 2 battles against the boss monster to fully kill it. Which is not a bad mistake. It's just like I didn't realize. As you draw these cards, place them in another face-up row from left to right, just above the previous row. Yeah, there are 3 enemies participating in this battle: 2 Super Patrollers and Madam Wool. Therefore, the combat sequence has 6 cards in it. The bottom row now has 2 cards, and the top row has 4. The Rangers and enemies take alternating turns, so this is what it should look like right here. 4 and then 2, like it should be 2 rolls. The Rangers and enemy cards take alternating turns. The Rangers usually take the first turn of any battle. If at least 1 enemy card in the combat has fast, then the enemies take the first turn instead of the Rangers. The enemies do not take multiple turns in a row, however, no matter how many cards have fast. For details on what happens, page 12 and 11. Once the last enemy card in the combat sequence has been resolved, the Rangers get 1 final turn, then the battle ends. The battle also immediately ends if all enemy cards are defeated. So that's what we've been doing, yeah. Like, if they all get beaten early before we end it, then, yeah. Once the last enemy card in the combat sequence has been resolved, yep, we read that, and, yep. If there are any energy tokens remaining in the shared pool, the Rangers who participated split them up among themselves. You can only store 1, though. If there are more energy tokens remaining in the shared pool, the excess gets discarded. All foot soldiers and all undefeated boss monsters are removed from the combat sequence or shuffled back into their respective decks. Any defeated monster and boss enemy cards are placed in face-up discard piles next to their respective enemy card decks, so we know how many cards we beat. If the current location was panicked, but there are no enemy figures remaining in that location, it's no longer panicked. Yay! During each ranger turn in battle, the team chooses 1 ranger to be the active ranger. So the lead ranger. I don't know why they switched it up. The active ranger plays 1 combat card from their hand, spending energy tokens from the shared pool equal to the card's energy cost. The effects of the played card are then resolved, and the active ranger places the card in their own discard pile face up. Combat card anatomy. The Power Rangers will play combat cards from hand as they battle their enemies. Combat cards have the following traits: Ranger, energy cost, card type, effect text, shields, and special defense. Not every card will have special defense. or effects. Combat card types. There are three different types of combat cards: attacks, maneuvers, and reactions. Attacks. When you play an attack, choose one enemy card as the target. If the attack requires a die roll, take the indicated number of combat dice and roll them once. You deal hits to the target enemy equal to the number of hits rolled. Some attacks and abilities also deal a set number of hits without having to roll any dice. Maneuvers. When you play maneuver, resolve the effect text of the card. Maneuvers often provide ways to gain energy or manipulate the cards in your deck, hand, or discard pile. Yep. Reactions. When you play reaction, resolve the effect text of the card. Reactions can be played out of turn by any ranger. Each reaction describes what circumstances it can be played. Ergo, in response to a ranger suffering damage. Dealing hits to enemy. When you deal hits to enemy, place hit tokens on that enemy card equal to the amount of hits dealt. If this results in the enemy card having hit tokens on it equal to or greater than itself, the enemy card is defeated and flip face down. Let's see. Jason. Example K. Jason spends 3 energy to play his power sword, which is a 5 dice attack. He declares the putty pummel enemy card as a target, then rolls 5 combat dice, getting 3 hits. Yeah, 2, 3. Take 3, so 3 is defeated. The card remains in the combat sequence, but it is flip face down. So we flip it down like that. Defeating foot soldiers. When the foot soldier is defeated, remove one matching foot soldier figure from the current location and place it on the experience tracker on the power board. Defeating monsters. In order to defeat a monster, the rangers must defeat 4 of that monster's cards. Track this by counting the number of cards in the monster's discard pile at the end of the battle. This may require facing the monster in multiple battles. If there are 4 more cards in the monster's discard pile at the end of a battle, that monster is defeated. Remove the monster figure and all remaining foot soldiers from the current location and return to play. So this is where I was also messing up. They don't. I was playing it like if they auto evaporate. They do not auto evaporate because I was reading it like I was reading it wrong. I was misunderstanding at the end of battle the terminology basically. Because at first I was like, oh, all 4 beat. We auto defeat everyone else. Everyone just goes away. That's not technically true. You can still fight the foot soldiers until the end of the battle. So I didn't know that. I misunderstood this line here too. So defeating monsters don't auto evaporate. And this is why I thought you could fight 6 cards at once, because the rangers must defeat 6 of the boss's cards. I was wrong. You only can fight 4 at a time. So against boss monsters, we have to initiate another battle. Like this, it says in bold too. Like I really can't read. This will require facing the boss in multiple battles. So for episodes like 17 onward, I'll do this correctly. So that's on me. Like I should have read it more carefully, because I just read the part where it said the rangers must defeat 6 of the cards. So I assumed 6, and then when there are 4 more cards in the monster's discard pile, so I assumed at the end of the battle. So I assumed like at the end of the battle against like the monster itself. I was misunderstanding what battle meant. Terminology is hard to grasp in this game, but once you get it, you get it. But that's fine. Like it's still a learning curve. Like I just have to explain to my group for the next episode 17, like how we've been misunderstanding how this works, which is fine. You know, it's not a big change. And then if there are 6 or more cards in the boss's discard pile at the end of the battle, the boss is defeated and the Power Rangers win. So that's how we win the game too. Gaining energy. Some combat cards allow rangers to gain energy. To gain energy, take the indicated number of energy tokens from the supply and add them to the shared pool. Rangers who participate in the battle may add their own stored energy tokens to the shared pool at any time, and may spend unused action tokens to gain energy, adding 2 to the shared pool for each action token flipped this way. So I like that, because that's basically a bonus action in case you're not using it anymore. Enemy turns. During each enemy turn in battle, resolve the active enemy card, which is the left and topmost card in the combat sequence that has not yet resolved. If there are 2 rows of enemy cards, resolve all cards in the top row from left to right, and resolve all the cards in the bottom row from left to right. To resolve an enemy card, carry out all the effects in that card's text, which may indicate dealing damage, draining energy, or other unique effects, then rotate that card 90 degrees to indicate it's been resolved. If the active enemy card is face down because it's already been defeated by the rangers, there are no effects occurred. Yeah, that's my favorite part. So we just get another turn because you just turn sideways and it's like, it's our turn again. Yay, it's fun. Enemy cards in the combat sequence will resolve during enemy turns in battle. Enemy cards have the following traits: enemy name, health, keywords, effect, text, enemy type. Let's see. Enemy keywords. There are 3 different enemy keywords: fast, guard, and passive. Fast. When an enemy card with a fast is added to the combat sequence, it is placed at the left end of the row instead of the right end. If there is at least one enemy card with a fast keyword in the combat sequence, the enemies take the first turn in that battle instead of the rangers. An enemy has guard. Any enemy cards that are adjacent to in the combat sequence, horizontal and vertically, but not diagonally, are guarded and therefore cannot be targeted by ranger attacks. However, enemy cards with the guard keyword cannot guard themselves, so guard can't protect guard. Guarded enemy cards will still be dealt hits from sources that are not attacks. Kimberly's quick shot ability. The pudgy pick card salad fork stab has the guard keyword, so the rangers cannot target the adjacent enemy cards. Ravenous hunger, butter cut, knife cutter, and flanking. They can still choose sleeping attack or salad fork stab targets for their attacks. And then the last thing is so guard. If the guard is here, see my mouse. Then it's protecting this way, this way, this way. The two cards next to it, left, right, and the bottom card. Passive. An enemy card with the passive keyword has an ongoing effect that is active for as long as the card is undefeated. When an enemy card with the passive keyword is the active enemy card, nothing happens because the card's effect is passive. Dealing damage to rangers. Many enemy cards deal damage when they resolve. When an enemy card deals damage, the rangers collectively choose one ranger persisting in battle to suffer damage dealt with that card, unless the enemy card specifies otherwise. Yeah, because sometimes it specifically targets like lead ranger or something. Real link or like conditions like whoever has the least amount of cards in hand gets targeted or something like that. Revealing cards for defense. When a ranger suffers damage, they reveal the top card of their deck for defense, compared to shields on the revealed card against the amount of damage dealt by the enemy card. If the number of shields is greater than the number of damage dealt, the revealed combat card is placed in the bottom of the ranger's deck face down. So like, if the damage is 2 and I reveal 3 shields, then it goes bottom deck. If the number of shields is equal to the amount of damage deck, the revealed card is discarded. So if the damage is 2 and I reveal 2, it just gets discarded. Exact. If the number of shields is less than the amount of damage dealt, the revealed card is discarded. Then you reveal another card and compare its shields against the remaining damage that wasn't absorbed. Continuous process revealing one combat card until the number of shields on the revealed card is greater than or equal to the damage. So, for example, like if it dealt me 3 damage and I saw 1, I'm like, oh man. Then I reveal the next card, it's a 2, so that's 3 equal. And then they both get discarded because it equals. Or if it's like a 1, and then it's like, oh darn, and then I reveal 3, then it's more greater than, ooh, that card goes to the bottom deck. So that's what the Trini example is showing. Deals 4 damage, so we reveal 3, so that gets discarded. And then the next card's a 2, so it's greater than 4, so that the 2 shield goes to the bottom deck. If a ranger has 0 cards left in their combat deck, they are defeated automatically. Remove 1 energy token from the command center. Or life token. If a ranger is defeated, there are no energy. If they are beaten when there are no energy tokens remaining in the command center, Power Rangers lose. So if one person dies and there's no more left, we lose automatically too. That's never come up yet, but that's good to know. If the lead ranger is defeated, they must pass the lead ranger token to another ranger. Yep. And then draining energy. Some enemy cards drain energy when they're resolved. To drain energy, remove the indicated number of energy tokens from the shared pool and discard them to supply. If the number of energy tokens in the shared pool is less than the number drained by the enemy card, remove stored energy tokens from rangers to make up the difference, if possible. Otherwise, for each remaining energy that would be drained, a ranger participating in the battle must discard 1 card from their hand. So, like, if we have to drain energy and no one has energy, we have to discard. Which I think that's happened like once. Oh, that's happened to me in solo mode. The team. It's never happened in group sessions, but it's happened to me in solo mode. The team of rangers can summon their Zords by defeating enemies. The Zords provide abilities that will help out the rangers. Summoning Zords. The rangers summon the Zord each time that 1, the experience tracker fills up with defeated foot soldiers, or 2, the monster is defeated. When this happens, because when monster is defeated, it's like you auto level. I mean, it's not like you do auto level. So, like, if you have 5 of these guys here, and then you beat a boss, you just go up to level 2. And then the 5 still remain. When this happens, reveal the top card of your Zord deck and advance the power marker forward 1 space on the tracker. If the Zord was summoned due to the experience tracker filling up with foot soldiers, return them to the supply. Yep. Saber-Tooth Tiger. Using Zord abilities. When the Zord card is summoned, place the card in the front of the associated ranger for a ranger of the team's choice. Or ranger of the team's choice if it's like an extra one. Yeah, if the associate ranger is not in the game. That ranger may use the Zord's ability. To use a Zord ability, exhaust the Zord card by rotating it 90 degrees. While a Zord card is exhausted, it cannot be exhausted again. At the end of each round, ready all exhausted Zords by rotating them back outright. So when like everyone's done with their actions and stuff, and we go back to the deployment phase. That's when we ready the Zords. The Megazord is always the last card. When the power marker reaches 6 on the power tracker, the Megazord is summoned. Reveal the Megazord card, place it near the power board. We usually just place it right there. Any ranger may use the Megazord's ability. When its ability is used, place the Megazord token to indicate which location is affected. After the Megazord is revealed, the rangers cannot summon any more Zords. Defeated foot soldiers are no longer added to the experience track. Energy tokens placed at the command center during setup represent the power of the morphing grid, which is able to restore defeated rangers to full strength. Whenever a ranger is defeated in battle, move that ranger to command center and remove one energy token or life token from the command center. That ranger shuffles all their cards from their hand and discard pile to form a new combat deck and draw a new hand of 5. Then you get a new energy token. If a ranger is defeated when there are no more energy tokens, you lose. Yeah. We know that. We know that. Okay, this is the player count. So that was like all the basic rules. But this is all the like the expansion rules for like playing different number of people. So players with 4. Basically the same setup. Place 2 action tokens, 4 energy tokens on the command center board, so we get 4 lives instead of 3, and then 2 action tokens to recover with. During this game, the 2 action tokens on the command center board represent additional recovery actions that are available to the entire team. Any ranger may flip one of these action tokens to perform a recovery, so that's unique for 4 players. During setup, give each player 3 tokens instead of 2 action tokens, and place 4 instead of during the command center board. 3 and 2, you can play with multiple people though. I mean multiple rangers. So like if we played with 3 people before, we each can get 2 for the maximum 6. Games with 2 people, you can play with either 2 rangers each or 3 rangers each. I've done it all. I've done all these. During setup, place 2 action tokens at 0 lives on the command center board. During the game, the 2 action tokens in the command center represent additional recovery actions that are available to the entire team. Any ranger may flip one of these to perform a recovery. Additionally, in 2-player mode, each ranger will control 2 different rangers. Single combat deck. This is where I don't do this because I use sleeves, so it doesn't matter. So I just have them separate. I don't combine them, but I do draw up to 7. I just pick which deck I want and draw 7 total. It's mostly because they're all different colored sleeves. It kind of feels like cheating. Might as well just keep it separate. Ranger movement, when you can move with multiple rangers, you can't separate your rangers. If you're playing as 2 people, you have to move with them together. When you control 2 rangers, ranger effects and abilities, each ranger's abilities and card effects apply to you, the player, instead of only to that specific ranger. For example, if you control both Zack and Trini, you can use Trini's double strike ability to play 2 of Zack's cards from the hand. See, that's pretty good, because I was doing that with Kira and Sid, Dino Thunder Yellow and SPD, because then it worked. Because it plays off the player, not the Pacific Ranger, you know? Like when it says when you roll certain things, and I'm like, oh, that works because even though I rolled it as Sid, it still triggers Kira's, like if I roll a crit, I gain energy. It's pretty good, you know? Targeting multiple rangers. When an attack targets multiple rangers, count each ranger separately. Yeah. For example, if an enemy card would deal damage to each ranger, then each player would suffer 2 separate instances of 3 damage. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, for example, if an enemy card would deal 3 damage to each ranger, each player would suffer 2 separate instances of 3 damage. Yeah, per ranger. Yeah. Storing energy, so you get 2 instead of 1 because it's per ranger. Each ranger can store 1 energy token, which means that the player controlling 2 rangers can store 2. Whenever a ranger performs a recovery action or powers up, the controlling player takes energy tokens from the supply until they have 2. Then the sharing energy pool, it's 3 energy tokens instead of 2, for like if you're controlling multiple rangers. Location effects, each location on the board has 2 sides. The basic A side, which are recommended for new players. The advanced B side introduce unique location effects. I haven't done this yet. I think episode 17 onward, I'm going to try to do that. That way it feels different. So that way it'll cover the mess ups better. It'll feel more fresh. Certain location effects will help the Rangers in their efforts, while others will hinder them. Command Center Assault Mode. The B side of the Command Center board introduces Command Center's Assault, which is a challenging high threat game mode. In this mode, when an enemy cannot be deployed to a location because it is panicked, they are placed at the Command Center instead. Instead of going clockwise, they go Command Center. Whenever the boss is deployed, they and all foot soldiers that are part of that deployment are always placed at the Command Center. Oh, that's crazy. No matter what the location. Okay. If there are enemy figures remaining at the command center at the end of the action phase, the Power Rangers lose. As long as there are any enemy figures at the command center, Rangers cannot power up by moving to the command center. However, any Ranger that is at the command center with the last enemy there is defeated may power up. Well, that's pretty good because then you can power up right away after you get rid of the last one without having to spend action or nothing. You just power up. Oh, that's pretty good. I like that. Maybe episode 17 I'll do that. But anyways, expansions. Yeah, so add new Rangers. You just have to buy the product, and then yeah, to create Zords. Yep, to create a Zord deck, make sure you use those Zords that match all the Rangers to play. If you're playing with fewer than 5 Rangers, add random Zords while viewing them until you have 5 regular Zords. Shuffle those, and add a random Megazord. Oh, the Megazord doesn't have to match. I thought it had to match at first. Okay, that makes it easier. I thought the Megazord had to match too. It's just the regular Zords. I have to stop making these assumptions. Good thing I'm reading. Yeah, then if you want foot soldiers or different kinds, you have to make sure you have the right 4 location boards for that. Monsters, yeah, you just buy the product. That's all this text is basically saying. Buy the product. For an added challenge, you can use extra boss deployment cards in place of one or both for the monster deployment cards when creating a deployment deck. If you do, all bosses except for the final boss are defeated just like monsters when their 4th card is defeated. So yeah, you can use boss cards as monster cards. You just have to beat 4. You just have to treat them like a monster. Like beat 4 of the cards and you win. Yeah, that should be it. Yeah, games with 6 Rangers are fun. Yeah, that's what I was just talking about earlier. Once you have some expansion content, you will have enough components to play games with 6 Rangers. You can do this either controlling 1 or each, which is what we've done, or 3 players controlling 2 Rangers each, which was also what I've done. The command center, the number of action tokens, energy pulses, and 6 players controlling 0 action tokens, 2 energy tokens, so 2 lives. Oh, okay. Then 3 players controlling 2 Rangers each, 0. So 0 action tokens, 0 lives. Oh, that's interesting. That makes sense because it should be easier. Bigger Zord deck. During setup, create the Zord deck by shuffling together the 6 Zord cards that match the Rangers in play, before placing the Megazord card on the bottom of the deck. During play, when the power marker reaches 6, the Rangers summon the 6 Ranger Zord instead of the Megazord. Then once they fill the experiment track for the 7th time, they unlock the Megazord. That makes sense. Deploying foot soldiers. Whenever a foot soldier deployment card will deploy 1 foot soldier, deploy 3 instead. Oh. These extra foot soldiers are deployed even if their monsters or bosses also placed during the same deployment. Okay, so they make it even harder because it's like there's 6 of us, I guess, so 1 becomes 3. It's interesting. But yeah, shout out to Jonathan Yang for designing the game. Yeah, then the rest of the stuff is just references to stuff we already talked about. The back is just gameplay references. So I'm like, yeah, the game overall is fun. Like, I'm really digging it. I'm glad I went over all the rules with everyone, so we know exactly what to do moving forward, episode 17 onward. So I'm very excited. I'm very excited for y'all to watch episodes 1 through 16 and the opening scenes. I'm very excited. I'm very, very hyped. Like, man, it's gonna be fun. Like, being able to do all this. Don't you think, y'all? But yeah, enjoy the content. At least 16 plus episodes, 3 plus opening scenes, future how to plays. Yeah, just like what I referenced in the beginning of this video. So, yeah, I think that's everything. Yep. Thank you all so much for watching my how to play video on Heroes of the Grid. So, yeah, that's the base game. So, we'll be going over other stuff too, how to plays, because there's different modes you can keep going with this. But overall, I love the game. I think Heroes of the Grid is very solid. I play it with my family. I play it with my group. I play solo mode. I play this game quite a lot. I haven't been playing lately. I mean, I have, but like not solo mode and stuff. Like I've just been playing group sessions. Like it's fun. The game's great. I'm really glad I can play this very consistently. It's very good. It's very good. No DMAA is morphing up. But yeah, I'm glad I got 6 people. Like total, like me plus 5 others. Like I'm glad we got a full Ranger team, and that everyone wants to play. Like it's great. And then GI Joe crossover might happen. I'm pretty sure I'm going to invest. I'll let y'all know for sure if that's going to happen or not. I'll go into more detail about it. That's just kind of what's he talking about? And just like, yeah, you'll see when it happens. But yeah, thank you all again. I love Power Rangers. I hope I can do justice with the Power Ranger content more than Hasbro. I mean, that's a low bar, but like I hope I can do better than them. Gosh, if I'm not, that's an issue. But yeah, no DMAA is logging off. Enjoy the videos. It's morphing time.